Alright, working on a Snapper Pro 48-inch walk behind commercial mower. This is the deck. This is one of the spindle assemblies. This is a tapered locking nut. Slides down over this shaft with a keyway. And in order to get it off, there are two holes that you can run bolts through, and by using blocks of wood and a piece of steel, you can continuously lever this thing up a little at a time. Move it up a little bit, stop, add another piece of wood, shim it, and keep pushing it up. And it will get this piece off. Once this is off and out of the way, then your pulley will come off. The spindle, although you see me pulling it up right here, actually is attached from the bottom of the deck, and the spindle will just drop free after you take the bolts loose. So that's one spindle done, two to go. Okay. These are 7/16. I removed them from here. Next thing I need to do is clean up these threads so that I can get the other bolts in to press this out. So I'm using a tap to clean the threads. I'm just running it down, chasing the threads to make sure that all the debris is cleaned out. I'm really not cutting any new threads, just cleaning out the existing ones. Alright, that's good. Now that'll let me take these bolts and run them down into here to try to press this nut out. And these are put on with an 11mm. As soon as I find my wrench. Here we go. Got it laying down over here. All right. This one, the tip got just a little bit messed up. I need to take a die and cut the threads on it just to clean them up just a little bit, but yeah, this will be all right. There we go. It's starting to snug down. And this is all you do, back and forth. Tighten one side down, tighten the other one. Eventually it should push this piece up so that you can take it off. Might not be easy, but that's the process. Hopefully this will work. It worked on the other one. Using a little bit of vibration, hopefully, to help it break loose. Seems like it's really hard. Can't tell if it's actually moving yet or not. Okay. Using the bolts to try to lift this piece up and was not working very good on its own. It was actually bending this piece up on the sides. So I tried an alternative. Using a impact air and trying to pry up on it, I eventually got this piece, the pulley, to drop down on the shaft. So that's a start. Now I can continue working on trying to get this bushing loose and up off the shaft. But that was the only way I was able to get any progress. So now hopefully I can figure out a little bit more vibration and beating and everything and heat, and maybe finish getting this bushing out so I can get everything off the shaft. After getting this pulley to drop down the shaft, I'm using a small gear puller and see if I can use it to lever this thing up, because the bolts were not working so well. So we'll see. Feels like it's moving. I can see it moving a little at a time, so yeah, this is working now. That's good. Yeah. Slowly but surely, it's working. Okay, you can see the progress. I've still got about 3/8 of an inch to get to the top of the shaft. Ended up having to use the impact gun on top of the gear puller instead of a wrench. That's helping a little. I think I'm going to try the torch to heat it up a little bit and see if maybe that'll free it a little bit more. Add a little more PB blaster and try the gear puller again, see what I come up with. Alright, so I've heated this up with a torch, and now I'm going to try the larger gear pullers, see if I can get a little leverage on this and make it a little better. That won't work, but we'll try the wrench instead. Doesn't seem to want to straighten up completely, so let's see what we can do here. It's moving. Seems like it's moving pretty smoothly at the moment. Easier than it did before. I can see it. I'm down to about a little less than 1/4 of an inch. That's working. I think the heat helped a good bit there. Well, the bushing's flush with the top of the shaft now. So that's progress. Still moving. Still moving. Well, I've got just a little bit left to go, and reached the limits of my gear puller. So maybe the small one, if I readjust it, I can use it. All right. So the little gear puller was too short, so I just dropped a socket down inside. I don't have that much to go, so let's see if that'll work. Just need a little bit of more to go, and there it goes. All right, excellent. I don't know if it's still hot, but I'm not going to take the chance. Okay, got the bushing off. Yay. I'll clean that shaft up really good before I put it back together. That was a pain in the butt, but now I can easily take that pulley assembly off, and I'm glad I didn't have to cut that thing up. That's solid steel right there. Very heavy. Not one of those little light aluminum ones. Now I can take these bolts loose and drop that spindle assembly out and work on the third one. Alright, since this deck has been in a fire, there's a lot of not only grease but hard melted plastic around these bolt heads. So take a screwdriver and I'm chipping that stuff away. Now I can get to those. Alright, let's see what we can do. Make sure I'm going the right direction. There we go. Alright. That's one. Most. Two. full. Alright, the bolt is loose. Alright. Alright, that breaks that loose. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little cutout right there, a little notch. You turn it so that the grease cert is right there. And there's the spindle assembly, the whole hubs.